Good morning, crew, Stormfallians, whatever we may call ourselves. I am going to do a quick video today. I may do the battle groups, the BGs, battlegrounds, just to explain how to do that so everybody fully understands the concepts of what's going on with that. One thing I wanted to make sure that everybody knows is how to utilize the Sanctum of Shards properly, because I know some people have asked that. And I said once I hit 100 boxes, I told Jordan that I would do a video for it. So that's what I'm going to do. Here is your Sanctum of Shards. This is what you currently have slotted up here, and then you can switch over to Secret Chamber, and this is how you combine gems. So to do the combination of gems, you must have two of the same kind, the exact same level, and then you would do a combine, and then that makes it into a power level of 2. So you do that a couple times, but remember you always have to have two of the same kind and level. So now we have 4 here. We would change that into a 3, and see we have 2 more of the level 2s. We change that into a level 3. So now we have 5 level 3s. Not enough to make, let's see, we can make a 4, because we have 2, and then we have 2, so it makes two 4s. So now we have 2 4s. Then we can take that 4 and make it a 5. The 2 4s makes it a 5. Now I have 2 5s. I have had some previous work done in here, obviously. So once we have the 2 5s, combine that, we already have a 6, that makes it 2 6s, and at that point you would do a combination of 2 6s, and you go up to level 7. I believe the highest level you can get is a level 12. I would not recommend inserting what you're planning on doing permanently up here until you get to that level. The only reason I have the things that I have up here is because I did a purchase and it came with some wands. So these wands, what happens with that is that when you click on one of these, you can either extract it or drop it. Drop it means it dies forever. Extract it means you can use one of these wands, and that will put it back in your bank. So even though I've put them up here, I can take them out with a wand and build back on top of it. So when I get to another level 7, I could take it out and make it a level 8, but I don't want to do that. I want to get up to where that level 7 will be the absolute last piece for me to get to level 12, and then I will do that. So I got over 100. Gonna open those just so maybe we can go through some more. As you can see, it's just always random, a whole bunch of everything. So that's 114 of them, and then we had 2 for the challenges. You get a challenge box that has 2 of them in each box. You get 1 box and you have 2 in each box for every time we win that challenge. We are on challenge number 3. We'll be going to challenge 5 to get that. Well, we'll continue to do challenges to keep going. So just so we have some more intel on what happens, so you guys can see exactly what occurs. Like to get to, I say you always continue to build up. I kind of do some of the math in my head just to see if I have a level, because I only like having the base shard and a solid number shard. I left the oranges out so I could show the examples for you guys. So I'll just go ahead and do that. I usually do them all at the same time. I got a nice even number, so it equals an even number all the way out. So we have an odd number 3 already, so we're still going to have an extra somewhere. But you do all your combinations. The goal really, especially if you're not buying any kind of wands, is just to get them up as high as you can. Like I said, the level of 12 is what the aim would be for. So now we have 14, so that'd break down to 7. So actually that third chart might be good. That one level 3. Yep, worked out perfect on that one. So it should break down to 8 number 3s. That'll break down to 4 number 4s, 2 number 5s, and a 6. Obviously, it's going to take a long time to get these. Don't worry about that. Just make the just know what you want to get. If you're going to be defensive, when we come out with the groups on whether you're going to be a defensive troop or an offensive troop, you should have at least 2 out of the 3 doing what your role is going to be. That's what I would recommend for everybody. So if you're going to be offensive, you would want to go with the Vayon Speed, which is the green, and the red for occult. And if you want to do the top one with your Griffins or anything that you may have, but really your role is going to be mainly all offense, you may even want to go to the third one to have the cavalry up. But that is up to everybody's choice. Obviously, I'm not gonna audit people on what you decide to do with your own gems, but just do it smartly. Read exactly what all these things do. It's pretty important. Okay, so hopefully there's a better understanding of that now. Like I said, you want to aim for level 12 before you insert if you're not getting any wands. Alright, so I want to talk about the BG items. I'll show you guys how to get to it and then explain what it is. So if we go to our Facebook group and we go to files is up here. You click on the chart that was downloaded or put in by Kevin Young, uploaded by Kevin Young. This is the chart that you're looking for. I would highly recommend you download it onto your machine, on your computer if you have one. If not, you can just do a preview. And this shows all the levels. So this is the levels of the BGs. So this is how much you want to hit things for. The left number is what you want to hit it for to make it yellow, and then the max is what you want to hit it for to kill it. Okay, so I will explain by showing you my own example. So if we go back to Stormfall and we go to the Battlegrounds list, as you can see on mine, I have already lowered a few of them, preparing for a payout. And due to my number being offense up here, I'll probably end up going offense even though I want to go defense at this point. We'll see if a higher level defense goes up, but I'm gonna hit this 43 probably for the level increase because I'm almost to a quest. If you guys go to quest, you can see once you get to that, you can get these really big payouts. And I would only recommend using really low troops. I know it takes a long time to get them built to get this, but it's not worth throwing away dragons and necromancers to get that. So, after I do this 43 for the payout, I will probably work on this for both defense and offense. And then I'll go back to the BGs. So I worked down these 6, and I'm probably going to work down at least this one, maybe these 2, something like that, and then I'm going to hit the level 43. When I hit level 43 to kill it, that's when I should get a bigger payout because I took these down to the yellow level without killing them. So that accumulates. So if we go to level 43 and we go back to the chart, we can look to level 43, and I can see that it's going to take me 596,000 attack to take it out properly. So that's the max that's going to be on a BG. That's going to take a lot. But, you know, if you guys are in lower levels, that obviously becomes a lot more manageable. So as you can see, I'll explain. So this level 8, when I went to hit the level 8, I looked at the chart. I said, okay, level 8 is right here. I hit it with 840 attack power. You can hit it with 850, 860. If your troops aren't completely at 840, that's fine. As long as you're nowhere near this, you know, I wouldn't take this to 900, because then you're teetering a little bit. You know, the game may possibly give you the win, and then you kind of lose what you've accumulated. So the whole idea behind this is you want to get quite a few of these down, and then you want to hit your highest one for the kill. Not necessarily the highest one. You may want to keep it the one below the highest, depending what level you're at and how successful and how often you want to do this. Obviously, the higher level you get to, the more payout it is, but obviously the longer it's going to take to build the troops properly to actually attack this. So it's a lot of choices to make, but it can be a big payout when you do it right. So if you guys have any questions on that, you know, Kevin Young, honestly, Kevin has been, he's the guy who set up this chart or replicated it from wherever he got it from. He's the BG guy, I would say. You know, friend him, contact him, ask him for any help that you may need. But as you can see, you know, Anthony Ribas, I don't know how many BGs he lowered before he killed his level 40, but he was able to get a huge payout at level 40. You know, 560 necros and 60, or 583 necros and 60 golem, or 114 golems. I don't know. That's a lot for a level 40. So, you know, that's one way to get our offense and defense up pretty substantially, pretty quickly, and it will help us take our beacons and hold our beacons. The goal is to get about 51 of us probably to be offense, and then the rest of the league will be defense, because as you can see, most people in Stormfall like to go offense, and they like to pour on a ton of offense. So as you know, we've seen in Stormfall throughout, where people like to go a lot of offense, it's usually easier to take things than it is to keep things. So with us going, you know, 50 offense and then 70 defense or 80 defense, it'll be a lot more defense on our beacons, and we can hold those while we continue to progress on taking new ones. I think it's a good balance. What we'll end up doing is setting a trade agreement, as to say, between our fellows after we get all this. This is going to be a longer process, getting all of this hammered out and getting the guys doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I think once we do, and we get to that max efficiency, it's really going to be productive for us. And we'll have a trade agreement set up where defensive guys are sending iron to offensive guys, and offensive guys are sending gold to defensive guys. So we keep the balance of resources where they need to be, so you're building at your max efficiency at all times. Make sure you guys are doing your kills, like in your what I do is I go through and make contacts of everybody that I hit. Please don't hit these fellas. This is my weekly hits. So you just click raid from here, and then, you know, if you have 29 dragons, you just put 29 dragons. Well, it might be 32 or so. I have the Paragon, so as long as you have Paragon status, increases the carry and stuff like that. So, whatever it maxes out to, you want to put at least like 50, 51, 52k offense. There's also special ways to make your bounty increase, but I don't really even know all of that myself because I still have never maximized out my food and my Traders Inn and my Thieves Guild. You can send people food, but it has to be a certain amount of time. Then you cancel it and then hit them, and then it works. I don't know, a whole bunch of crap. But anyway, I just wanted to get this little instructional video because I saw people not knowing fully how to work the shards, and I wanted to explain the BGs lightly so people can understand what we were talking about, as well as giving a leg up for Kevin so people can at least be on the same page as him if they go to ask him any questions. So hopefully that clears that up a little bit. And good luck hunting, I guess. You guys have a good one.